were just Mark and I running our accounting firm, and our business was started organically. We had friends and family. We knew people that needed tax help. That led to referrals. We were using just Yelp to have people post reviews, and that was causing our business to double every single year for about the first 5 to 6 years. It was a lot. And we knew we couldn't do it ourselves. It was definitely too much work. And we went from having normal turnaround times to 2 weeks to 4 weeks to 6 weeks to 8 weeks to, I'm so sorry, can we offer you a discount? And so it was just getting out of control. And first talked with Chris about offshore, and Mark was saying to me, hey, we should look at this, we should do this. And as far as our company, Mark's in charge of the bookkeeping and business entity portion of our business, and I'm in charge of taxes and IT and security. And so I was absolutely against it. I said, no way, no way, no way. We are not sending our data offshore. We're not sending our clients offshore. We are not doing this. This is so unsafe. There's no way, no way, no way. And he just kept pushing. And so I said, you know what? You want to do this so bad? Hire a bookkeeper. Put your money where your mouth is and get out there, hire a bookkeeper. And I said, the only thing is when you do the interviews, run the interviews. He met the whole team, made contact with a few different people. I don't remember everybody's name right now, but we interviewed in December. So our first tax season started in January, and it wasn't a great launch because we didn't know what we were doing. We knew when you have a staff member in the office next door to you, it's easy when they have a question, they could just come in, hey, I'm wondering about this, and how does this work, and how do I fix this, and what do I do? And so I was most concerned about that. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to work all day long helping the staff that's here, and then I'm gonna have to stay up all night long helping the staff there. This is gonna be way worse for me. So I was, even as we were doing it, nervous and skeptical. So what we realized is we have to document our process, every single process, from the beginning, from the appointment setter to scanning documents, to how to store the documents in our cloud software, using our tax software and the different OCR software that's in it, our CRM software, just every single process from the beginning all the way to the end. And of course, we didn't have all of that in place that very first year. We had our core components, that's what we called it, just to give them an overview of what it was, what we use it for, and how it integrates with the other softwares that we're using. And we onboarded, gosh, I think it was 3 tax preparers. I don't remember for sure. I think it was 3 the first year. We onboarded them individually. So we onboarded one, and then we had 2 weeks where we Skyped every day. We talked about concerns. We sent emails. We went back and forth. There's a lot of communication that first year. Then we onboarded the next one. And so there was this delay, and that helped to really make even that process documented and figure out what worked and what didn't. We had email templates for questions. We were really concerned about consistency, whether I was preparing the taxes or someone from India was preparing the taxes. We wanted the client to have the same verbiage, the same templates, the same look to the emails, the same, just everything about how it happened for the client, so they didn't feel this shift at all. And it was amazing. It really was. One of the tax preparers we had that first year was a high-level tax preparer. He was great. He actually helped the other tax preparers that were there. We had him for 3 years. And it was an amazing experience. And I think that relationship with him led to, wanting more and more. And so this last year we had 4 full tax preparers. We had a checker who checked the work of those tax preparers, who acted like a manager on site there. And he was able to do the onboarding for me, so I wasn't having to do that. He answers their questions, he provides training, he's right there, so when they're making a mistake, he can say, oh yeah, by the way, tap, 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 you keep doing this over and over again, you need to get this fixed, and they fix it. It's really remarkable. And of all the people we've ever interviewed and all the people we've ever hired, I only think it came up one time with a candidate that we actually didn't end up hiring because it wasn't the right fit. And everyone else has been amazing. There has been a level of humility and gratitude and coachability. I mean, you name it. These are the best staff members that we've ever hired. Like, I've had a lot of experiences coaching staff onshore within my office that range from people breaking down crying to getting defensive, arguing back, telling me why I'm wrong and how I'm running my company wrong. And it's a really interesting position to be in, running a company and having that happen. But the staff in India has not ever been that way. They are incredibly kind, like I said, incredibly humble, but very, very teachable. And that's something for our firm that it's part of our company culture. No matter whether it's onshore or offshore, we are all one team, and our staff, our crew, is our number one priority. Well, every single year we have to update our process because tax law changes, forms change, places where things go in the software changes. And so it is an every year thing. In the summertime, we go back. We keep a list during tax season in like an email draft of the things that came up. But even during the tax year, each tax preparer kind of has their thing that they do wrong at first. And you'll see it repeatedly. So as the checker checks for those basic things there before the file is sent to me, when I do the final review, I am, at first, in the beginning of tax season, I look at every single data point. And then I'll start to see like, oh, this person is doing that problem repeatedly. And they're not ever big things. They're a checkbox here, a click there. It's not big things, but it's things that do alter the tax return, the outcome of it. Or it addresses like error codes that come up in the tax prep. And so documenting the process is definitely something that evolves even through tax season as we realize that there's things that we're not addressing. Last year in the middle of tax season, they dropped the rebate recovery credit form and how to report it and what's reporting. Are we reporting this year's or next year's or last year's, and all of these things. And so we were kind of all figuring it out together. And so as things like that come up, I'll just have a draft email and I'll just type it and I send it to everyone. I say, hey, these are some changes we've made to the process. We all need to adjust to this. And the thing that's amazing is when I do send those out, like they're addressed, like I get responses. Thank you so much for teaching me this. I'm going to do my best to fix this. And then I've even had tax preparers go back into prior files that are waiting for review, and they've updated those errors as well. And so we have absolutely had things that the processor missed, the tax preparer missed, the checker missed, I missed, and it got filed and the client got a letter and we got to pay some penalties for them. That's not the goal. It's not what we're hoping for, but I know if I was doing it by myself, it would have still been missed. And so there hasn't ever been an issue of negligence from any of the tax preparers at all. But it is something that coming into a management role of that number of staff is a different experience than being the main tax preparer. And I think that's something that you have to realize going into it. You're not going to be able to do as many tax returns yourself because there is a component of document processing and review and checking and managing. And so once I realized I wasn't going to be able to sit in my little bubble by myself and do taxes all alone, not talk to anybody, then that was where the real growth happened. So mistakes happen, but we just don't checks everything and is working to clear all error codes. And then I get it for the high level checking. That way I can feel confident about signing off. And my check, one of the best things that has helped my checking is using the tax comparison page to see what was happening with the client last year, what's happening this year, and what changed. And I can go directly to those things that I see changed and look and review those things. And that's been most helpful for sure. And then obviously checking new things like the 1099-R where you can defer, the CARES Act where you can defer over 3 years, going back and checking that because forms have to be attached, and just things like that is where I'm focusing my time on. So my review time went down from literally 8 hours a day down to maybe 1.5 to 2 hours a day. I think we all know that we're up against that. And so I tell Mark, because he tends to have a lot more slang than I do and he talks and writes in what's called passive tense. And it is very confusing for someone that's not English isn't their first language. And so we have accommodated some of that just in how we communicate, especially via email. But if we don't understand something, we just say, wait, what? Can you say that again? Because sometimes Sean starts talking really fast, or Makun starts talking really fast, and they get kind of crazy and we don't understand. And so we just say, hey, slow down. But one of the things we did in our interview process is we asked each of the candidates to just write us an email telling us about themselves. Are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids, pets? What part of the country do they live in? Where they like to go on vacation? And that kind of revealed kind of where they were at for communication. But on the day-to-day practice, we have email templates. And so we have, and this is part of making it the same across the board. We don't just have, well, we have offshore, but I also have my daughter-in-law that does taxes for us, and she's in a completely different state, thousands of miles away. She uses the same template. So it doesn't matter if it's coming from me or from her or from the India crew, everyone's using the same email template that has the same general questions in the same order. And then for about the first month, I have them CC me on every single email. And so I just check it. And if I start to see like, hey, we're kind of losing what that question should look like, here's what it should look like, and I just offer it. And it's amazing because sometimes I will offer an answer to a client question because the tax preparer will CC me and send it to the client, and then the client responds, and sorry about that. And the tax preparer will answer the question, and it's kind of worded a little funny, and so say, hey, next time, here's a great way to answer it. And I'll just give them a sentence or two. And I've done it just in that one instance, and then I found it on everybody else's emails. Like they said, oh, hey, this is what Tiffany said to say, and they'll send it out and they save it. And so that's been a great way to address the communication. Obviously, no one on our India crew is calling our clients. It's all through email, which is the same for me. I don't talk to the clients. That's what Mark is for. So that's how we've addressed it.